Welcome everyone to VR Jungle, a Havoc podcast. This is your host, Geraltzy, and wow, that's going through the noise. Hold on a second. I'm just doing all sorts of mess ups today. So anyways, sorry about that earlier. I clicked the wrong thing on the link, but this is the real one. But here, today we have Jonathan, or a lot of people know as Tropical. He is the CEO of a publication called, it's X Labs, right?
Yes, sir.
And then he's also creating a game called Vail VR. But like I said, most people call you Tropical. So Tropical, you want to give anything other spiel about who you are, about Vail, about how you got there, about your everything about you.
Yeah, super big picture. My name is Jonathan. I go by Tropical. I'm the CEO and one of three founders of a studio called X Lab, and we make a VR first-person shooter called Vail VR. We're on our road to making the VR first-person shooter that's really tailored towards competitive play in esports, and we're really excited about that. We, as a studio, got into VR in 2014, and we started really working on Vail 2017, 2018. It was really a passion project from me, my brother, and my brother's partner, Elizabeth. And then I don't know, one passion just kept growing. VR kept growing. It was really fucking hype. Like we just loved it.
Yeah.
And when COVID came, me personally, I was working in hotels, so I had a full-time job. I started this company when I was in college, but I always worked full-time, went to college, did this, so I had like so much time like all spent up. But when COVID came, it was the first time that I was working in hotels, like everything just kind of shut down. And I was able to like deep dive and like actually get to play video games.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and just work on this. And we saw that as an opportunity. At the time, I think we had a few thousand people in our Discord, and they were always like, "Can we donate money to you? You should do a Patreon. Like, what can we do to support you guys?" And we never really felt comfortable doing any of that. But at one point, we had a lot of people in the Discord.
Yeah.
They're all talking about it. I had like a lot of VR esport friend players. I was like kind of like showing them what we were doing the whole way through, and everybody got really hyped on it. And when 2020 came, people got hyped on it. VR kept growing. We had a lot of people just hyped. We found this website called Start Engine, which is basically like Kickstarter, but instead of just donating money, you also get stock, so you can actually invest in the company.
Nice.
So when we saw that, we thought it was pretty cool, and we launched a campaign. This was like early 2021, and we raised about $2.5 million from 1,500 VR, a lot of them esport players, but most of them all like VR enthusiasts, like very passionate about it. And that was just fucking crazy. Like that was just at that point, the game was in pre-alpha stages, it was playable. We had a few years in it. We had a few thousand people behind us, and everyone was just really. We were all like shared on this vision that VR was going to get bigger and better and like much faster, especially with all the news.
Yeah.
So we were really hyped about it. And then it kind of just became a super legit thing, because when you have other people's money, you just do it differently. And I've never worked more in my life, but it's never been this much fun, especially on something like a VR video game. So yeah, we just did the Kickstarter thing, and then it kind of blew up, and then we've just been working on it ever since. And we're just really fucking hyped. We have a crazy Discord community that everyone's super passionate about VR first-person shooters. We all know where this genre is going to go with VR tech. Like we're all hyped about it.
Yeah.
And we just want to see how far we can push it. So I think that's it. I don't know. There's a lot more, but I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, for sure. But we'll get into all the fun stuff about it. Like I know that there's a lot of questions that I'll have to try and read and talk at the same time. It was kind of hectic getting this one started. Like I said, it's always been fun doing some of these podcasts. But the one thing is, so I know you said before we even started this podcast that Vail is going to be your number one game, and that's going to be the game you're going to focus on, which is, pretty good at the same time, like you were talking about, is very interesting to investors to kind of think like this might be one and done, or, you might change your mind down the road. But like you said, within 2020, you just got into VR. So like, were you in developing like pancake games, which, like flat screen console games? Like
we got in 2014 into VR.
Okay.
Like we never developed anything non-VR. Like we got into VR 2014. The first project we did, so Elizabeth, one of our founders, she's a musician as well, and she was releasing an album called Water Planet, and she wanted to make a virtual reality experience to coincide with her EP that was dropping. So it was a full art experience. It was the music, it was the VR, it was like nuts. And from 2014 to 2016, Elizabeth was designing it, making the music, the visuals. She was the creative. Albert, our CTO and other founder, he was the engineer behind it. In 2017, things got really fucking hyped for VR. And when we were done with our first music video experience, we were working on our second. Our second one was Albert's music album. He's also a techno DJ. And what ended up happening is he started gamifying it. So the first one was a single player narrative driven campaign. It was beautiful and interactable. The second one, we wanted to push it and say, hey, can we let people share this experience together? So multiplayer. We were like, let's make this multiplayer and let's gamify it. So instead of just being a story-driven narrative, let's gamify it and start, putting. Albert loves fucking guns. I love guns. He comes from like competitive, hardcore Counter-Strike, like super hardcore Rainbow Six Siege. We played a little bit of Valorant, but Rainbow Six Siege was my biggest one. Albert was like top guy in Counter-Strike. So we always loved guns. We put guns into to kind of gamify it. I was friends with some other VR esport players. They were coming through. I was like, hey, come check out what my brother's doing. It's pretty fucking dope. It has guns. And then that just kind of started ricocheting into like a crazy snowball of let's make, first guns, then, multiplayer, then team deathmatch, then full multiplayer first person shooter, right? I went from music video to like full first person shooter. But it happened so organically that we didn't even realize it. So always been VR, started off with music, kind of just did this naturally, and then got into like first person shooter VR. But that's all we've ever done is just straight VR.
Gotcha. Because I know
VR was the most exciting thing too, so it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I picked up a headset and I've never went back ever because it's really boring to sit down and be like 10 feet away on a screen when I can have it up real and live. And but yeah, I've saw some of your gameplay. I'd go into some of the streams that people have been playing the game, and it is a very beautiful game. Like, so you said there's 3 of you that are part of the CEO branch off, but like, who is the main artist for this game, or is it like is it you guys?
So we do all the art in house. Our art team is Elizabeth. She's our chief creative officer, and she's the vision behind all of it. We also have a creative director, Jelly Waves, also known as Mark, that he's been there since day one, like early days. So between Mark and Elizabeth, they do all our art in-house. We have like an art team of maybe 20 people now. So we have 3D modelers, we have concept artists, we have hard surface modelers, level designers. So Elizabeth and Mark kind of make like the concept and the brief, and then it goes through all the stages, and then there's just a bunch of iteration. And then because we are a competitive game with like maps, we are we first start off with like a gray box.
Yeah.
We get some scrims going on, and then it's always about making the gray box feel fun. If the gray box feels fun, just the flow and the vibe of the angles, then you freeze it and you start adding art to it. So it goes from level designers making like gray boxes to Elizabeth and Mark concepting like where's it going to take place, what's the vibe, what's the look, what's the feel. And then it just goes through the whole process. And it's really fun because you get to play a lot of these things with competitive players all the time and get feedback in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen
it. Yeah, all in-house. I know I went on a rant, but all in-house.
Oh, no, dude, go on a rant. I mean, I think these podcasts are for you all to go on rants just to kind of talk about what people don't get to see it day to day because, sometimes with devs, they'll come into a Discord, say hi, here's this, blah, blah, might jump in a stream, but, they never really dive into actually who you are. And so I know for this one especially, there's a couple people, even my my co-host, my naked co-host I used to have, he was telling me, he's like, let me come back for this show. And I'm just like, I know you, like, I just sit out for this one because it's like I don't want you to confuse the dynamic of bringing you back and confusing everybody. But I thought the most beautiful thing, though, was the weapons alone. Like, the design and the detail on those weapons were pretty solid, to say the least. And so how hard was that on the gun mechanics, and have you got any kind of like people giving you feedback on the actual feel to like realism?
Yeah, so there's a few parts there. And I appreciate it, and the team really fucking appreciates when people appreciate the level of detail we've gone into the guns. Albert, my brother and the CTO, I'm shocked he's not in jail just from how many hours he has on the internet looking up gun shit. Like his YouTube, his Google, is everything. I'm like, yo, one day the government's gonna think some crazy shit because he loves weapons.
Yeah.
And we go to the gun range too. Like I'm stronger than my brother, but my brother, he fucking handles these weapons. Like he's poning them. So Albert has always cared so much about guns, and he really wanted to take advantage of virtual reality and like make something really as realistic as possible and feel nice, like how it would feel in the real world. Especially when people invest into haptic suits, gun stocks with haptics. Like you can go all out. And when we design our game and our mechanics, the reason why, and now I'm bouncing off, but the reason why our graphics are so crazy is because someone invests $5,000 into a PC VR ready computer, you should let them push that rig to the full limit. You should never prevent someone from taking advantage of the hardware that we have. Like that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to have settings that lower the quality visually a little bit. It does. And then is now performant for mass hardware, so you can have a player base. The issue is it's very difficult to have both settings. So most developers just go straight Quest 2 standalone, for example, in VR.
Yeah.
Right? In VR, it's very difficult. To make a PC VR game is kind of crazy because no one does PC VR. Everybody says you got to go do Quest 2.
Yeah.
Our belief is because everyone's going Quest 2, we got to go PC VR because there's no one really out there other than Half-Life Alyx, which is incredible. I love Half-Life Alyx. That's that one I can say. That one pushes it to the limit. That's why it's PC VR.
Yeah.
It had the highest players ever. So there is demand for good content on PC VR. It's just harder to do.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's our vision. Full high-quality graphics. Work extra hard so you can scale it down and not affect competitive integrity. Everything stays the same. Because, for example, if you throw smoke, right, with high quality and you have a bunch of smoke and then you turn it down to low, and it's like cardboard smoke, and then someone can see something that other people can't see just because of their graphic settings, can't do that, ruins the game. So it is a challenge to have high quality and low quality settings that all look and play the same, or at least play the same evenly.
Yeah.
But yes, we care about guns. Every person that joins the team that works on the guns is also a gun nut like my brother.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of gun nuts working on guns in VR all fucking day. And we actually are cool with Miami SWAT team and the mayor of Miami. So between the mayor of Miami introducing us to a bunch of people and the mayor of Broward, we have a bunch of gun nut people from the SWAT to the police, to like all bunch of different branches coming through all the time and giving us feedback.
Good.
Telling us what they think. And we love that shit. And nothing is cooler. Dude, we had like some top sergeants come through from the SWAT and they literally said it felt so fucking good they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
That was like the craziest compliment. We were like, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of funny you say that, like talking to like the local police or like the SWAT, that you said your brother was Googling like some crazy stuff, especially like weapons. Especially in today's time, you got to watch what you're doing. Like
10 years ago, you could be American. Now it's dangerous.
If you start talking about AK-47s and bump stocks and X-ray, everything you can think of. When it comes to that, I know that I was playing that VR bomb game where you have to download the bomb manual to get all the wires cut and everything like that so the bomb doesn't blow up. And my buddy typed it and it goes, "Warning, you just been tracked." And so because he has tracking stuff, he's like, "Crap, now I'm gonna be put on some list for trying to build bombs and how bombs are made." So that's
bro.
Yeah. I do have a good question that someone actually asked in the chat. And by the way, everyone in the chat, we thanks to Jonathan here that he's going to be giving away 5 keys today for some really good questions. And so if you have any questions, go ahead and get it out. But one person, Danny TBH, says, since you guys said you're supporting customer content later down the road, if someone makes a really good game mode that seems official and such, would you bring it to the actual game?
Yes. So that's a great question. And then do me a favor, Danny TBH. Can you post your Discord username here in the chat so we can send you a key? So I'm going to repeat the question. Since you guys said you're supporting custom content later down the road, if someone makes a really good game mode that seems official and such, would you bring it into the actual game? The answer is yes. Most of the most popular games in the world actually came from mods that were then bought and created into the games that you know. So I genuinely think the modding community is super fucking important, and you get really cool creative stuff from there. So our vision is to have, content made by Vail, so Vail content, and then user-generated content. And then we want to acknowledge the most favorited, highly played user-generated content, mods, maps, levels, whatever. We want to highlight those and then have a section that is basically like the Vail curated collection. So think of it as like a museum where the community votes on the best shit goes there. Because, for example, in certain games, it just shows all the UGC. And it's like, for me personally as a gamer, I have to scroll through a lot of it to like look for the best ones. And what I do anyways is check the most reviewed or whatever.
Yeah.
And instead of searching, you can just highlight the ones that deserve to be highlighted. And then if people want to go look, they can go look. And I think that's a really nice way and potential career path also, because most people on our team come from community user-generated content communities, literally like modders, map makers, 3D artists, everything. And they're the best people to work with because we're all passionate about the same thing. So we definitely want to take advantage of UGC and highlight really cool people and find ways to compensate them and find ways to potentially partner or do business together. I think that the gaming industry is so big, and if you just give the tools to the right people, people are going to do sick ass shit. Like the only reason we could even do this is because Unreal Engine is free.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine decided to go free, and we were like, that is awesome. Unreal Engine, literally, we were just regular people that had a passion for VR, saw Unreal Engine go for free, and got into it. And now we have a bunch of people that felt the same way. I don't think anyone like studied Unreal Engine. They just downloaded it for free, got into it.
Yeah.
Years later, now they're working with us in VR. So really, really cool question, and I hope that you put your username.
Yeah, and then kind of
Yeah, they did.
kind of segueing off of what you just said with getting Unity and just downloading and getting into it. There's a person, Left Demon, says, was there any big inspiration when making this game, or maybe something you were basing it off of?
I can't speak on behalf of the whole team because each of us, from everybody, we all give our own love into the game. Like there's like a lot of different sections that are parts of different people. For me personally, it comes back to World of Warcraft, RuneScape, Call of Duty, Halo. Like those are like the 4 games that sucked up 80-90% of my time and still do today. And what that is to me is solid gunplay. Like I need solid fucking gunplay. I want to go in there. I want to kill people. I want it to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a high skill ceiling where I can constantly see myself improving over time. And then from the MMORPGs, the reason why I love those games are just because they were so social. I'd hit endgame, I'd join a guild, I'd become friends with people. We'd go raid, look for new gear, but we weren't there for the new gear. We were there to see some new content with a bunch of friends that we all knew. And I'd play 3-4 hours of Call of Duty or Halo, and then I'd go raid with my guild, sometimes chill in the auction house of Stormwind or in any of the RuneScape auction houses and literally just chill with people. So VR lets you make a first-person shooter, right? That also allows, because of the medium that is VR, social interactions. Mm-hmm. So one of our visions here is reimagine the gamer's lobby. And what that means is when you're playing Call of Duty or Halo, you open up the game, you look at your friends list, you see who's online, and you invite people to your party. When people are in your party or you join a party, it's voice chat only. You watch the same animation walking in place, and it's just you and your friends talking shit. The game doesn't start until you hit quick play. When you hit quick play, you're inside of the game, right? And you don't socialize that much because you're always like, yo, someone's over there, someone's over here, I'm getting shot, man down. You're comms. You want comms. You want comms of what's happening if you want to, play good. Then you get put back into the lobby, flat screen, social, only voice chat, you're talking, and then that's the gamer loop. In VR, most games start off and you see a big screen in front of you of user interface. And we think that's phase 1. We think phase 2 is what we're doing, where you launch the game, you're inside of your armory, you're inside of your house. When you're inside of your house, that's your house. You have the guns, you have the chests, We put hockey in there. We want to add more mini games. We want to add more things that people can do with other people. But you're in there, and then you have an iPad in the game that you can invite friends now to your house or your party, and then you guys are chilling in the same house.
Oh, that's cool.
The game starts the second you launch the game.
Yeah.
You're socializing with your friends the second you're in a party. And what's cool about VR is you end up spending more time just hanging out with your friends doing stupid fun shit than playing the actual game.
Yeah.
And you can only do this because it's VR. So now you're getting better gunplay, better immersion on a first-person shooter, and also you can do dope shit with your friends at the same exact time. It's like unheard of. Like Call of Duty Halo houses, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that? But in VR, I want a crib. I want guns at my crib. I want to invite my friends to my virtual home with my virtual guns, and I want to shoot shit. Like
exactly,
that is cool. So that's like for my inspiration. But other people on the team, they all get inspired by different games and have different awesome things, and they put it all together, and then we get this game. And we are very proud to say that we're one of the most, I believe, I hope, I aim to be one of the most transparent and community feedback driven games. So like we stock, like me and the whole team literally stock the Vail feedback channel and all the chats in our Discord daily. Mm-hmm. You can see people writing in it all day.
Yeah.
We live off the community feedback. And the coolest part is because it's virtual reality, no one really knows what is going to be good and what's going to be fun. And there's so many things left unexperimented with that we're down to be crazy and take all the feedback and just work on it and iterate. And we're like posting daily updates in there. And sometimes we try it, it's like, this sucks. Sometimes we try it, it's fucking great. Got to keep going. But to have thousands of people in a community that can just come up with ideas all day, we're never going to run out of ideas. And it's exciting.
Yeah, and that's really good to hear because there's a lot of people that come into the VR stuff and want to make a game. And, you know, it's always been it's always the older generation of devs that come in that like their first experience was like Quake. And that's the number one thing I hear when someone's like, yeah, I want to build something like this or like that. It's always like some late 90s PC game that they're thinking of. And then they build this community. They make somewhat of a good game. Say they have an okay launch, and then all of a sudden there's no updates, and it's just like, where'd you go? And so it's really, that's the one good thing that you say you're only making Valve VR is that your passion is going to be actually listening to people because this is what matters. It's not what's the next project. It's more like how to make this, the biggest thing possible. And I kind of wanted to blend in. So Jayco, he asked a question around the thing about what are you going to keep getting people to come back to the actual game? Like what's the future look like, updates? And then I wanted to add my own side to it on that as well, is that like comparable with the future, how are you going to compete with the other four people? It's you got Pavlov, Onward, and you got Contractors. How are you going to compete with them? Are you going to be bounce ideas off? Are you going to completely trying to, branch away and make your things even better? Like what are you going to do with that?
So there's two questions here, right? The first question is what do we plan on adding to the game to get people to want to come back to the game? Yeah,
correct. Yes.
All right, so there was a lot there, so I'm trying to like put it into pieces to better explain it. So it's a really good question, and this is a question that investors ask all the time because the truth is you need money to make a good game, and you can only get money if you have an idea that investors believe in, right? So the number one thing that investors are betting on right now is our community. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but it is our community because most investors only want to invest in games that already have numbers. And for the first, 3, 4, 5 years, we didn't have any numbers. We were building the game with no numbers.
Yeah.
And we're a first-time game studio without a track record. Because if you're going to build a new game, they'll just say, let's see your old game and see what you did there. And then that's what we think you'll do there as a benchmark, right? But we didn't have that. So the first few years was just us self-funded. And then, like around 2020 to 2022, it's been all community-driven. We literally have such a cool community that, we have 1,500 investors that are all from Start Engine. They're all in our community. So our community started off mainly with like 3,000 people, became like half investors. And these investors are all playing the game. Like, dude, people have hundreds of hours in their investors. They're 16 years old, 13 years old, 21 years old. They get their parents to invest for them. Like, if I could invest $100 in Call of Duty or Halo or RuneScape or something, like, I think that would be dope. I'd probably be much richer right now. But I'm not. So I wish I did. I invested thousands of hours in those games. I gave them thousands of dollars. I should have put $100 in. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Anyways, So it's the community. The number one thing that gets people coming back is the community. There are super bad games that I like to play. I'll give you an example, World of Warcraft. I don't even do anything in World of Warcraft. They dumb down the game so much where everything's easy to do. Why do I come back 10 years later? Bro, I got friends. I got a community.
Yeah.
I got a guild. I'm going to come and chill, and I'm going to be my gnome mage. I'm still a fire mage. I know it's not even the meta, but I'm still a fire mage, and I don't even get updates on the gear, and I just spam, what I have to spam to get some kills. But I do it because my friends are there. So community to me is the most important. After community comes first-time user experience, the basic controls, gameplay mechanics, how the guns feel. Like, dude, most people get lost in the sauce just in the armory, not even playing with other people. It's crazy, but they spend hours just looking at the guns and playing with the guns and interacting with the guns. I mean, it's crazy. Like me, when I'm playing a first-person shooter, let me get whatever gun I get and go into T-Deathmatch, right? Like, I need to feel it.
Yeah.
But here, they're spending time in the armory. So the look and feel also, like the way everything looks and feels with the gameplay mechanics and the gun mechanics, like you got time to just explore and take it in, which it's not much content. It's not a lot of depth, but it's a lot of quality.
Yeah.
So that is like step one. Step two is once we finalize and we're still in that step one, we're focusing on the quality, the core gameplay mechanics, polishing it, making sure everything's fucking smooth. What you're going to start seeing next after the beta is depth and variety. So more maps, more guns, more game modes, the fun stuff. Finally, the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm super excited for the fun stuff. It's been 5 years of the boring stuff to make it work and feel good. Now it's the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So after the fun stuff, it's going to be like us making more games, guns, modes, all that shit. We're also building out a user-generated content marketplace and toolkit so that people can download a creator toolkit pre-loaded with our assets, all the assets we've made, and then build shit like Halo Forge mode, like get in there and just start building stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the later phase. So core gameplay right now, depth of games, maps, modes, all that fun stuff. Second, which is going to start coming soon. And then we're going to get into user-generated content, let people get dope-ass tools to build cool stuff in VR. And with a strong community and crazy good fundamentals, and then an army of people that are down to just do sick shit in VR, we're going to change the world. Like, we're literally just going to start making crazy stuff, and like there's going to be dope stuff that comes out of it. You got crazy passionate people with the right tools, they're powerful.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Instead of us trying to build everything, we should focus on building tools for other people to be able to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And that I cannot wait. That is going to be so fun to just look at all the crazy stuff people make all day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know, like, you put anything with especially younger generation's mind, a game that they really love to play, and you guys say, hey, here's a sandbox. There's some wild things. I always talk about like Cyberpunk. Like, there's people that really loved the game and how beautiful it was, but it was a horrible launch and they had a lot of things broken. And now these PC people that kind of mod and mess with everything, they got the monorail, the work in the whole entire city, which they thought was impossible. And, for that to be such a mind-blowing feat for someone that wasn't even one of their devs to do that, which is pretty amazing. So, yeah, can't wait for that as well. But, so, like, are you going to be doing any, like, challenges, weekly challenges, any game passes, like, you got so many months to do this. What's your guys' statistics going to look like? Kill-death ratio, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so right now we're currently working on a leaderboard player statistics thing, so everybody can have global leaderboards and friend leaderboards. You're going to have kills, deaths, matches, time played, things like that. For the actual progression stuff, that's going to come into the next phase. So after we finish the beta, we're going to start working on progression things so people can start having like cool things to look forward to and grind out like skins and things like that. But right now we're still we're almost there, but we're still 100% focused on the core gameplay. And I feel like we're really, really close to being done. It feels really good. Every day we're getting massive progress on that. So I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people talk about the skins because you just have black and white and stuff like that. And the number one thing that I don't know if anyone's ever said this, but it's like spy versus spy. If anyone's ever said that to you. That's the first thing that came into my hand. Huh?
Is that a movie?
No, it's a comic book. I think they
Oh.
it's like a comic strip. Look it up. It's Spy vs. Spy. It
Oh, wait, I've seen this. I've seen this.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of
Oh
people
my
have.
God, that's so funny.
I can't believe
Yeah.
no one's ever put the two
No one's ever.
together.
I've heard a bunch of shit. I've heard crazy shit, but not that one.
Yeah, I thought that was
Got
so
me out
funny.
of got me out of left wing there. I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, I've seen these characters. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to like go around and just like find ways to like blow each other up or something like that. And
Yeah, I remember this.
And so that's right when I saw that. I saw people playing. I'm like, man, this is just a VR game of Spy vs. Spy right now. So, so like I said before, like, how are you going to be like competing with all the other contenders that are out there right now?
Um,
Or do you even want to? You just like you want to. I know a lot of times, especially like when I talk like my VR stuff, you know, with my organization. If someone wants to come in and post their Discord link, go ahead. I'm not afraid of you, nor do I care. You know, this is our space to live and do whatever we want with it, and so you know, I'm very open to it. So like, how are you gonna play with that space? You know, are you just gonna wait till they try and do something that's kind of off-putting, or you know, or you just gonna be like, hey, this is our space. Let's do leagues together, all that.
um, it's an interesting question. So a lot of people always ask this, like everyone's asking this all the time, and I always wonder why. I have a question. You've played the game, right?
No, I don't not play PCVR. I'm all Quest.
Ah, okay, now it makes sense.
So
Do you have PCVR or no?
I'm getting it. Do not have it yet.
Okay,
Like I
this
will
makes
be
sense.
playing
Okay.
this. Yeah.
So
And
look, when you get PCVR, I'll let you try the game, and then we can ask the same question because a lot of people ask, and I've come to the conclusion whenever someone asks, like, what makes it different, like what's special, they just haven't tried it because when you try it, you'll understand. It's just it doesn't compare to anything that's out there. And then what we're actually focusing on, because there's so many different types of first-person shooters. There's milsims, there's casual, there's arcadey, there's like, you know, there's survival shooters, there's horror shooters, there's cartoonist shooters, there's a bunch of shooters. So like the games that are out there, there isn't one shooter that's really trying to make a VR esport game. So that's like just off the bat, like the obvious like marketing difference. The actual gameplay, you just have to feel it because every shooter feels different and everybody has their preference. But I feel like the mechanics we made are I don't know. A lot of people, you know, agree that it's their preference as well. I think the reason why is because we're so open to taking feedback from people that we end up creating things that a majority of the people want. So by doing that, it's just obvious that more people are going to want it. So instead of us trying to guess what we want to do, it just makes sense to get community input as early as possible, even in the idea stages.
Yeah.
So I hope that kind of helps answer it. No one's really going for the VR esport thing, and it just feels really good. And we're not military dudes. That's a whole. I mean, just off the look, right? Like you look at it, and it just looks different.
Yeah.
Everyone's always doing like military dudes versus military dudes in World War II, and I just feel like too many people try to do that. You got to try to do something else. But the truth is, it's really fucking hard to do something else because we realized it would have been so much easier to just go buy military dudes off Unreal Engine 4 store and like just have it in there instead of designing. Our art team is actually one of the largest. I think it's the largest. Yeah, the art team is the largest team in the whole studio. It's just a bunch of artists going wild and programmers chasing behind them, trying to like get it all implemented into the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just ask the question just because with VR not being as big as the console world or the PC world, you know, as a pancake game, is that you get these really tight-knit communities where they fall in love with the game. They don't want to try and strive out, or you know, or they don't not have PC VR, like you said. Like, you know, I have a very biased opinion since I don't even, you know, I've never played PC VR. The only experience that I ever get from it is the people that are on my team that are switching over to PC VR and stuff like that. But I just think it's just you dig into these communities, you know. You prod a community with 2,000 people and they try and test out your game. There's going to be some backlash of like some stupid, you know, button that doesn't reload the same as their game that they loved, and they're going to bitch about it. So,
that's actually interesting. We don't get that. The thing is, early on, we would ask people, what do you like? And then it's funny because we were friends with Pavlov and Onward players, and there was always this thing between Pavlov and Onward.
Yeah.
But a lot of them would agree that some things Pavlov did better, some things Onward did better. And then we had the community that was like self-negotiating with themselves on like which one's better from which one. And sometimes one side would agree, they'd let the other side agree. And then we ended up getting kind of like a perfect balance between what everybody liked, and then adding additional things that we saw were just the next step forward. So no one really complains.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. And I do like the fact that you're just not another military game. You know, and even looking at your website now, and by the way, if anyone doesn't know who this is that's in the chat, everything's in the link in the descriptions now. Their websites, their Twitters, even their Discord as well. And do you guys have a lore writer, or is it one of you guys just kind of dabbling into something that you want to kind of make a storyboard of?
So it's funny, we actually have a lore master, but there's a lot of, all the lore comes from Albert, Elizabeth, Mark, and Honeypaws, aka Shane. So they're the four that like set the stage, and then the artists and the programmers design around that, and they just do a kick-ass job.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been lore since day one. It's just fun.
Oh, I love lore. Lore's any game that comes out with a lore and actually like builds it into the game as well. Like the one thing I really loved about Call of Duty is that when they did a new season, they had like a nice like 5-10 minute like video of like.
Bro, their videos are insane. I can't fucking wait to get there. Cannot
exactly.
Wait, that will be like a dream come true. Those videos have bigger budgets than our whole fucking game. To give you an example,
I bet, dude.
Like, they're killing it.
I bet.
They're killing it.
So it's kind of funny. So I don't even know. He said he's in here. I just don't think he just wants to get blended in the thing. But you know, TBG is also watching this. But he went out of his way to even text me. He's like, "Can I get a question in?" And so obviously I had to let him in there since he's the one of the owners of Havoc. So he goes, "Are there going to be?" Are you going to be involved in the comp scene? So I know that you guys are part of a comp scene already. By the way, it's a $35,000, grand prize at the end of that. We can talk about that as well. But he says, are you going to add any, you're going to help them develop it? Any features like, casting, any tools? Like, what are you going to build for that to help people actually want to watch it?
So it's interesting you say that. So we have esports since day one. Like, that was the goal. Competitive play, playing at the highest skill ceiling, highest level, no chance, like just straight gunplay with like good fucking skill. So to have a good esports league, you need viewership. To have good viewership, you need a good experience to watch. And virtual reality, sadly, it's a very big challenge to make it enjoyable to watch, because when people are going up and down, like when they're walking, how do I explain? When people are walking, they're like nodding their head like left and right, and then the camera is shaking, and it's kind of nauseating. Like a lot of people get I have VR legs, like I don't get nauseous at all.
Yeah.
Put me in a VR roller coaster and I'm killing it. I also, by the way, a side note, I think all the malls in the world that have VR fucking roller coasters are terrible. And you're getting people sick and nauseous for their first time in VR, and you're making them not want to do VR again, and you should just stop. Like, that is just a terrible experience. But anyways, we don't want to make people nauseous in VR. So there's a company called Live, L-I-V. You can go to their website called live.tv. And I was very fortunate enough to become very good friends with their CEO and full team now. Dr. Doom, at his core, is a competitive esport nerd, and he sees making VR first-person shooters in VR as a big challenge, and he loves big challenges. So we've been working very closely with him for years now on making the spectator tools and the casting tools a great experience for the players, for the leagues, for the casters, and for the viewers to watch. And they've been doing VR since like 2014, I think. When you ever saw Beat Saber video where the person's in Beat Saber?
Yep.
That was all them.
Oh, really?
They did all that. They do all the casting tools and spectator tools for like all the biggest things you've ever seen. So that was their big thing where they blew up. When Beat Saber blew up, they blew up because of their tech. Like, everybody used it.
Yeah.
we're working with them to stabilize the camera on first-person views. Our spectator tools have third-person. You can start putting cameras all around. Also, we're also integrating anti-cheat with them so that they can have players showing sick shit, and they can't, like, the player can't see it, but the viewers can see it, so that you can actually be playing competitive and giving a good viewership experience at the same time. And we just did a little like tournament a few days ago, and we realized a lot of things that we need to improve on the casting system. So we're going to start making it better and better. And every time that we do a tournament and we see casters using our tools, we always take feedback and we always learn from it, and we just want to continue making it better. So yeah, that's like what we're doing to like make it a good experience and all that. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, pretty much you did, and I kind of wanted to dive more into it because, as you know, this is VR Jungle a Havoc podcast because it's part of my organization. So my main thing is to strive to ask questions for esports, so we can actually build a good team and get people to even try and win that $35,000 and stuff. And by the way, before I really ask another question, if people didn't know that we can also talk about it more, is that it's IVR L. I'll put it in the description as well. I don't think I have it there yet, but they're putting this on, and at the end of it, you guys are doing a tournament, and then what is it? Top 4 teams are being flown to Miami to win $35,000 at a lane event, right?
Yeah. So we're doing a tournament in partnership with IVRL.
Are you guys write a contract with you only or signing with them?
No, we don't do exclusives.
Okay, that's another one. Yeah, okay. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, we don't believe in exclusives. IVRL also doesn't believe in exclusives. We both believe that we should just do what's best for the ecosystem, because the ecosystem is so small right now that we're only shooting ourselves in the foot if we try to do any exclusives or try to limit anybody from joining this ecosystem. So, we have dozens of leagues that are promoting IVRL League, and we're going to promote their leagues in return. And this is fucking crazy. Like, I've never heard of this. I came up with the idea. I remember I told Etch from IVRL, I'm like, Etch, this is crazy, but can you just ask these people if they'll promote their leagues to, like, if they'll promote our league and tournament to their player base to get more VR esport players? And they were like, it's crazy, let's fucking do it. And he asked, bro, everyone said yes. Everyone said yes. We're going to promote them all. They're promoting us. And like, dude, we have 117 teams signed up on IVRL.org right now. That's literally the most teams that any season's ever had, ever. And we haven't even fucking started because we're going to do open qualifiers. So like, we're not stopping anybody from joining. Every Saturday and Sunday, teams can register and play that day. And if they place in the top 6, they'll go to the playoffs. If they don't place in the top 6, they can come back the next day or the next weekend, or just not come at all. So once the first weekend is done and broadcast like crazy, you bet there's going to be dozens or hundreds of more teams coming back the next weekend. And I think it's going to create a spiral, like a snowball effect, where if you want your best chance at winning, you got to be playing right now. You need to be practicing right now. And you better hit that first open qualifier and place top 6 and then coast for the month practicing. Because once people find out, bro, there's leagues I've never even heard of. There's hundreds of micro leagues we've never even heard of that are just literally people are popping up out of nowhere. And I started realizing how fucking exciting VR esports is, because I think we got really lucky with the timing, because, the last big tournament was ESL and Facebook, like 2019. They haven't really done anything since, and there's been COVID. So VR's grown dramatically in the last 3 years. So this tournament coming out for $35,000 on a new game in Miami with the LAN finals, with real players like making this league and working with us from day one. Like, this is a very community driven, almost historical moment. Yeah. And I can say it's historical because we just broke 117 teams. Like you told me like 2-3 days ago, I'd be like, this might be historical. We just broke teams, like, and it's gonna only get better. Imagine 1,000 teams, 2,000 teams. Yeah. Like, it just started. We're at 117 teams. People don't even know about it yet. Exactly. It's very exciting. The game is like not even really fucking done yet. It's like almost done. We're like a week or two. Are you waiting
till full release to do the tournament?
So the tournament starts the qualifiers in August, and we're on track. We're going to be at least a week or 2 weeks before the first qualifier. our goal was initially to be done July 1st, give teams a whole month to like play the game stable. We weren't there yet. No one's even mad. We're getting some good feedback and making some final, touches on it. But yeah, any competitive player or VR esport player that's like on a league somewhere else and I can see a website of them, I give them access to the game immediately.
Yeah.
If any 5 people register on IVRL as a team, they go through an interview process, get access immediately. I've let in hundreds of players in the last week that reached out to me. I come from some league. I'm like, I've never heard of this league. They sent me a link to a website. There's like 200 people in Korea. True story, by the way. People in Korea,
Yeah.
people in Argentina, people in Brazil, people in Japan. Bro, places I've never even heard of. People are literally, there's VR esport players all over the world. Some of them have 20 people, 30 people in their city. But like they're hearing about this and they're like, one guy's calling from the, it's crazy. Like there's so many people that if we can get all these people together behind one big thing and it works, like now I'm stressed out, right? I'm like, fuck, like this needs to work. Like a lot of people are counting on this, but everyone's waiting for this moment for VR esports to go big. And because of COVID and the VR hardware wasn't there, the moment's kind of now, right? And if it doesn't happen now, like what, like, I don't know, people are like, fuck, what else do we wait for? So got a lot of community riding on this. I think we're going to do it better than expected. We're working like crazy. And this tournament might be something really big where if it goes well, I want to bring sponsors into the market. I have a lot of sponsors I'm talking to right now that are like scoping us out. Yeah. And I think that once we start doing some of the qualifiers, like we'll be able to close dozens of like, top tier sponsors. Liv sponsored us, but they're, #1 VR streaming software. Yeah. But I'm talking about like big like brands. I can't say names right now because I'm signing papers, but yeah, I'm selling them on VR esports. I'm telling them this is going to be the biggest thing. Look how many players are behind this. Like we're working with Liv. We're going to get viewers because all the sponsors want viewers. Or like if there's viewers, I'm showing them that video from 2019 ESL, 3 million views. They're like, damn, that's a lot of views. I'm like, 2019 guys, like COVID, hardware, market's only gotten bigger. Like people want this. Like we want this. So they're believing me because I'm showing them the numbers. The community's there. And if we can blow this up, we're going to get big sponsors. We get big sponsors. We get bigger prize pools, more players, more better players, more viewers. And then boom, we have a fucking whole ecosystem that everybody wants. So we just got to do it. And I feel like we have the opportunity right now. So I feel very grateful. I feel very grateful that it's the right time. People really care about what we're doing and we're doing it as a community. I don't know what else to say. I went on a rant and I almost started crying.
Hey, yeah, he's got a lot of passion built behind that for real. Yeah, so $35,000. That's is that coming from their organization, mixed organization? Because they have
no. That's 100% from Liv and XLab as of right now. And then we're gonna work with sponsors.
Pool get bigger?
Yeah, so we put minimum prize pool. The goal is to get a lot of sponsors and increase the prize pool and increase the production. So the more the more sponsorship, the more I can do the prize pool and the production on it.
Yeah.
I want to try to blow it up as big as possible. So the more teams that register, I'm betting on IVRL to do a really nice production for those qualifiers. I'm going to start showing this to everybody, closing some deals and trying to bring some good money into VR esports. I'm fucking ready. I'm excited.
Yeah, and
I think that we're gonna do it.
Yeah, and one of the main things I'm even interested in because I've been seeing it happen like 3 times in the chat is talking about servers and stuff like that. Are you guys going to be doing matchmaking, server log? Are you going to allow people to have their own servers? Like, how's that going to work? What regions are you hitting?
So right now we have EU, NA, and Oceania, and Australia. We have dedicated servers. We work with a company. Like an AWS, but specialized in games. They have servers all over, bare metal, like hard metal servers. We integrated with their matchmaking and their server deployment. We control it, and we can spin up and down servers now as players come in for demand. Like as the demand goes, servers will spin up, spin down when demand goes down. And then also in the game right now, as of a week ago, as a player, you can go click create custom lobby. You can click what server you want, the game mode and the map. You can invite your friends from your Steam friends list, like right in the game. People get in, you can hear them. You click the button, boom, start. That's it, they're in on the server that they picked. As of today, we just made it because then you have to wait for the whole game to finish.
Yeah.
And then it would just randomly put you in another map. So as of today, we made it so that at the end of the game, the host, whoever made the group, can actually pick the game mode and the map. And we also added that they can do it in the middle of the map. So if you're playing the game halfway through, you want to switch a map in a game mode, you can switch to the game mode whenever the fuck you want now. And it's great because we needed that. And you can do it in the game's UI, like very simple. I know it sounds crazy. This is simple stuff in like every other game, but in VR, this is a miracle.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is a miracle, guys. I know it's funny because I play Call of Duty like almost every day. Like I can do this shit like no problem. But in VR, I'm like dying. I'm like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
So you can do that now. We will let people set up their own servers, and once we allow user-generated content, we'll let people set up their own servers and their own content and do whatever the hell they want, as long as it's appropriate.
Yeah, and then there's another one about asking if there's gonna be a playback feature.
Yeah, so we already have it. It's internal. You can't do it from the UI, but we can actually record all matches and then get that like downloaded into VODs. We're gonna let people be able to do that as well for content, also for leagues to moderate. We started it for the league, but then we realized that people were asking for the videos just so they can make sick content. The content's coming out cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna let people do that. Think of like, theater mode or something. We'll only store it for so long. And you can obviously have the option if you don't want your stuff stored, but for content creation and for league moderators, it'll be a really great tool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of questions that were going on that I still read. I think there was one that I wanted to kind of touch base. It's always an important one. Is it was back up there as a person that was actually on my team. He was asking like, what are you gonna do for people that are like disabled, can't stand up, stuff like that? Are you guys adding features that are gonna help?
Yeah, so that's really important to say. Another differentiator. Tell me if any other VR first-person shooter like multiplayer game has a true seated mode.
One.
Which one?
Trover Saves the Universe.
I've never even heard of that one.
You got it. It's made by the people that made Rick and Morty.
Oh, I love the Rick and Morty game.
Dude, it's
oh,
great.
No way.
You're a Cheropian.
This looks like something I'd want to play.
Dude, you're a Cheropian. You sit in a chair the whole time and you run a character.
Oh, I have a question. Is this a multiplayer game?
No, it's not. It's a single player.
Okay.
I think they're making another one, but it's pretty funny though.
No multiplayer. Boneworks has a really good one, by the way.
Yeah.
They have a very good one, but they're not multiplayer. But theirs is very good. I love Boneworks. We have something called artificial crouch. So a long time ago, we got 2 competitive players actually in wheelchairs, and they told us all the crazy stuff that they did to be able to play. And we were like, this is fucking broken. This is wrong.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm a lazy gamer, and I can sit on World of Warcraft for 12 hours, but in VR, I can do 3 to 4 hours max. I want to play more, but then everything hurts. And I have wood floors. I actually just bought. This guy was telling me yesterday, or 2 days ago, I was complaining about this. Yeah, he got me like a link to like this crazy rug. It's like super cushioned. He's like, you're going to be able to play a lot longer. I'm like, yeah. Sounds good. But yeah, we have a seated mode. You can play in a chair. If the chair does not have the side things, like the armrest, and it's a spinny chair, fucking amazing. People know me. It's actually funny. I'm one of the sweatiest players in Vail. Like, I'm pretty damn sweaty. Not the sweatiest. Fuck, I said that. There's some crazy motherfuckers. But I'm pretty damn good. I'm pretty damn good now. I used to be number 1, and then my rank started getting lower once. You know what's funny? When I'm like the millionth best player, I'll know we made it. But for now, I'm still like, I don't know, top 50. I feel like top 50 right now. I can say that confidently.
Yeah, you're going to put a challenge out to a lot of people. VR players are nutty.
I'm scared to say it. But I'm known, I play seated. And I swear, because I play seated, and I also don't use a gun stock, but I rest my gun here, and I just have really good left hand like stability. And I'm playing seated, and I'm so smooth with it. I'm so smooth, and I whoop ass. And I can play for a long time. I can play like I did a 12-hour marathon tournament once, and I did it in a chair, like no problem.
Dang.
So, I was poning.
So you said it's a feature that you guys developed into it?
Yeah, so we have artificial crouching. You can play in a chair. We have player height calibration so that you can calibrate your height. Every player in the game is the same height. If you're taller, you're shorter, you're not going to have different sizes. Like every player is the same height. It's very important to, competitive integrity. You need to be the same height. So you can sit in a chair, you can lay on the floor, you can stand up, you can be super tall or super short. You can be the same height, and you can use artificial crouch to make up the difference, and it feels smooth as hell. If you're in real life crouching and in virtual reality crouching, you still go the same speed. You can't like go faster. You can't do play space hacking. All these features together have basically prevented the abuse of play space hacking because it's all so designed in a way to be so artificial that if you do anything in real life at the same time as the artificial stuff, it prevents you from doing it. It just makes you do it at the same speed. So
good.
This is like it's actually a very interesting thing that when you get in the game and feel it out, you'll understand the difference. It's very good.
Yeah, and so you say you have artificial crouching and stuff, and you have a choice from picking from crouching. You think when it comes to competitive play, unless you prove to the board, whoever's part of it, that you are disabled, are you going to take artificial crouching away?
This was a very intense discussion for a long time. We have not even 100% confirmed it, but it's still a debate. It's still a debate right now, but we are leaning towards it is a feature. Everyone can use it. Like, that's it. It prevents a lot of, it's a feature. We designed it to be accessible for people and to be enjoyable for people. And it feels really fucking good. And you can get, you know what I mean? You can duck behind cover. Like, if you're more athletic, like, you already have to stand up and shit for a long time. Like, you don't have to be, some people have bad backs, some people have bad knees. A lot of these people played crouching in the other games, like in real life, sometimes just dying, and they couldn't really take full advantage. They told me in DMs, oh my God, I didn't know this was a thing. You're saving me. This is amazing. I'm so grateful. I had bad back and back knees, but I love virtual reality esports, so I did it anyways, and now I can actually relax. And like, it's a feature. So the only thing that might suck, you know, on the other side is if you're watching people on stage and they're not ducking and crouching and, you know what I mean? Like, that might not be as cool to watch, but maybe eventually there will be an NBA league or some crazy league
where they take it
that's
away.
The pinnacle of pinnacles, and that's like, you know, like you're the LeBron James of Vail. You're playing in that league, and they might have the biggest sponsors in the world, bigger than any other league. And they might make it a rule. And if they do that, I wouldn't be mad.
Makes sense.
I'd be like, you know what? You guys deserve it. I won't play against you.
Because did you all add features in there like VR stock instead of actual having a stock, stuff like that?
So we have virtual stock. We have 2 versions in the game. And we want to add like real life stock calibration, but we don't have that yet.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to do it is work with a stock company that actually allows you to modify, you know, the specs to the gun. Because the one that I know of, which is the only one that a lot of people go to, is why can I not remember what it's called? You know what it's called? Someone put it in the chat. But anyways, it's one company that makes the most stocks for everybody. But they have like they make the ones that are actually like true caliber. Like if you shoot a pistol, it'll actually like trigger back at you.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, so they make stuff like that, and then they have like these pro stocks. It's called ProTube. Yeah, it just came in my head. So
ProTube, yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
they sent this stuff like years ago. They're great.
Yeah, so I mean, the best way to do that is like just a lot of times you see games, and it's like I wouldn't be able to ever do that big gun, especially like throwing grenades and stuff. Like I could only do like the smaller handheld one where it was magnetized and stuff like that. I've never seen a game yet actually mimic it to where it's accurate until you have to actually modify it yourself to make it feel like it is in VR. But is there any type of grenades that people have to worry about and stuff like that when it comes to that, or is it just run and gun?
Any type of grenades?
Yeah.
Sorry, what do you mean by grenades?
Like, is there any throwables?
Oh, in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
I've never
tacticals.
seen someone. Do you?
Yeah, we have 3 tacticals right now. We're working on more. We have grenades, smoke grenades, and flash bangs. So we have flash smoke and regular grenades. We want to add more over time, but we're trying to perfect these right now.
Yeah. And there's one thing that I've, you know, with you guys being more futuristic and stuff like that, would you ever plan on making kind of futuristic type guns that aren't real?
Yeah, so right now we're sticking with you know, modern weapons. If you look at the history of weapons, they don't change that much, to be honest. That's the crazy part. So our lore is based in the near future. So I can't give you a date, but it's in the near future. It might be a few hundred years, a few thousand years, but weapons don't really change that much. When you think about like crazy futuristic weapons, like those people are like on different universes, bro. Like they're not even on Earth. So in our lore, it's near future, modern weapons. we might change a little bit later and test things depending on what the community wants to see. For now, it's modern weapons. We also believe that when people are getting into virtual reality, everything is so different that from a first-time user experience, if you give people, I'll give you an example, bro. Halo, I love fucking Halo.
Yeah.
You give me a gun from Halo, I'm clicking B to reload. But if I'm in VR, what the hell am I doing with this thing? Like
charging
like,
it.
Bro, I'm not gonna say names of games. There's some games out right now that have guns that I don't even know how to use them. Like, I don't even know how to use them, and I like guns a lot. And like, I'm trying to figure it out in VR.
Yeah.
And like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So the last thing we need to do is create weapons that are so crazy and futuristic that people have zero idea how to do anything with them. So we're focusing on weapons that people are used to and have a really good model, like a mental model of like how they should work. And then we're going to start branching out of that as more and more people get used to VR and start expecting to get funkier with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. And one person always, I was wondering if this was ever going to come out. And it's one question, and then we'll wrap it up here. We're past an hour on this, but someone mentioned like cryptocurrency, and I know a lot of the big thing, especially when you talk about VR, is that NFTs will probably be the running currency for the metaverse and all that fun stuff. What is your whole spiel on ever bringing a type of cryptocurrency like an NFT to like a collectible? Say like there's a game right now that instead of making NFTs that are for the game, but say the play space that you make an NFT and it goes into your actual like play space. You know, like I've heard that people are doing that. Like it's different, but who knows? Cryptocurrency anymore is very interesting, especially since, you know, if you've been following Bitcoin, it dropped. You know, the highest it was at was 63,000. Now it's sitting at today, I believe, at 20,000, 23,000.
It is. My spiel on crypto is, it fascinates me. Sometimes I understand it, sometimes I don't. I think that there is some really good technology there that will be applied to things eventually. I think that most tech, there's a problem first, and then there's a solution. I think that crypto is a solution looking for a problem. Mm-hmm. So people are taking crypto and they're trying to make everything. They're just throwing shit at stuff. They're like, add blockchain, add crypto, like every motherfucker, like add. It's like they're looking for problems that don't exist. That's how I feel it is right now. I do still think though that we don't know where this technology is going to go, and it might really be beneficial for something massive eventually. People thought the internet was a scam. They thought credit cards were a scam. They thought television, cell phones, like every technology is crazy, and then it's not. So something like crypto that's financial, I think that every person should at least educate themselves on it, even if they hate it. Because if you don't educate yourself on it, you have a chance of it just pwning you. Yeah. And if you educate yourself on it and nothing happens, nothing's lost. Who cares? You educate yourself on it, you do something about it, you win. So, it only makes sense from a logical standpoint of mathematics. You don't lose anything by learning something new. Mm-hmm. That's it. Exactly. So I'm interested in the technology. I think NFTs are especially unique because when you really look at what an NFT is, at first I didn't understand it. I was like, what the hell is this? Crazy. But I looked into it, and I think that an NFT is really just a form of ownership. Yeah. Right?
You basically, you own the IP address of it.
Exactly. And the thing is, I never noticed it, but when I was a kid, I played RuneScape for 4 years. I was obsessed with RuneScape. I had a whole player killing guild out in the wild. I was like turning on my friends. You know, I'd walk out some rich friends and like have a dragon whip on them and a party hat. I'd turn around and kill them. Yeah. Pay $50 because I get so much in-game gold that I'd sell it. There's these Chinese companies that would buy your gold. They'd buy and sell gold, right? Mm-hmm. And I was such a high level that I could go make $20 an hour killing people in the wild. And that was a lot of money. I was like 13 years old. That was great. I was balling. Yeah. And I had to buy Bitcoin, I had to get Bitcoin and sell it so that I can take RuneScape money and turn it into real money. Yeah. And I made money on that. Yeah. It was great. Did it for about 4 years. I then got banned because RuneScape saw that I was doing that, and they were like, "We can't do it. It's against terms of service."
Uh-huh.
I then went to World of Warcraft, and I did it for 4 years in World of Warcraft. And not at the beginning, but eventually I was just a really high level character. I'd go grind, farm some shit.
Yeah, I had buddies that would
I'd
grind
get
a
paid to
character.
speed boost people
Yeah.
in arenas and shit. Like, I was just good. And I was making good money doing that. And I'm a gamer making money gaming. I was like, this is great. So I did the same thing then. But both of these companies banned me. And in World of Warcraft, I was addicted. So I bought a really high level no mage to replace the one that got banned. And I had it for about a month. I bought it on eBay. And in about a month, I didn't have access to the account. They like used their recovery thing to like get access to their account.
Nice.
And I was just like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I was just so destroyed. So, fast forward 10 years, I see NFTs. These companies, you don't realize, but even for YouTubers, right? This is a conversation I was having with a big YouTuber recently. Dude, your whole career is on this platform, your whole career. And with the click of a button, someone can literally say, oh, you have 100 million subscribers on YouTube and this is your whole career. We don't like you. No reason given. You're banned. Done. Whole career gone. Just years and years gone. Games are the same thing. So when NFTs come along, there's finally, for the first time ever, something digital that you really own, right? Like, you really own it. And it's a fucking picture of something stupid. And yes, people can right-click save it. And I agree with all these things. But what it really means, is that for the first time, you can actually own something. No one can take it away from you. The government can't take it away. Nobody can take it away from you. It lives on the blockchain. It's immutable. Now, that is fucking sick. Does that mean that what we're doing is the coolest thing in the world? No, but the idea of it, right? And crypto's always been this idea, like, that's some sick tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
But where's the problem, right? That's where it's trying to find. So I don't know what's going to happen with it. I'm interested in finding out. Maybe something awesome, maybe nothing. But it's interesting to me. It's new technology, and I really am grateful. I think we're the first VR studio that did an NFT project. It was a really cool in-game pet, like a Pokemon.
Cool.
It came out awesome. We are known for having one of the largest reserves of our own NFT. So like most people, like when they buy an NFT, they don't want to know that like the company kept a lot of them because, right, like that's not like a good thing.
Yeah.
They could sell it.
Mm-hmm.
We kept a lot of it, and we said to every person that bought it, we're like, look, we're going to keep a third of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we sold 6,000, we kept 3,000.
Okay.
And we said that we're going to keep this to give it to the VR community. So we've been giving it to content creators, VR esport players, league organizers, people that really are giving back to the community.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, you have an NFT? Dope, here you go. And I've just been giving them out to people that are adding value and making the community cool. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. Like, it's a cool Pokemon. It made the company a bunch of money. We're making a dope game, so we're not scamming anybody. A lot of these other NFTs, like, they're all running around scamming people left and right.
Yeah.
Like, you can see me. I'm right here. I'm building it. I've been building it. I'm going to continue building it. Watch our NFT be the only one that blows up years from now.
Yeah.
It does. That'll be dope. I hope so, right? Like every other NFT company's marketing all day. Look how cool my NFT is. We're over here, like, I don't even mention it. I'm like, I'm just going to keep building a dope-ass game.
Yeah.
And if it blows up, it blows up. So...
yeah, for sure. And like
that's my rant. I don't know where it's going, but it's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people like have a passion for it. You know, we did have a co-owner at one point that was part of Havoc that literally like left his full job and everything because he was so good at creating the NFTs that he got onto like some project with like Steve Aoki and stuff like that and was doing crazy like multi-million-dollar like IP dumps and everything like that. And like there was a podcast that I did last year for a project.
Sorry to interrupt you. Let me do something. Every single person that's in the chat, there's what, 12 people here?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, I just dropped my Discord username. Message me Funky Bananas. Every person that messages me Funky Bananas in the next 5 minutes, I'll give a key to right now. Sounds good? I appreciate every single one of you for being here and listening to me fucking rant for an hour about random shit. You guys are awesome. Just DM me on Discord. I think I put it there. DM me on Discord.
So then what we'll do for that then is that the people that are in here that you're getting a key then, people that rewatch it if they ever get to this point, and if they DM me, then I have those 5 keys left. You want me to give those ones away?
Do it.
Okay. because I'll keep those 5. If someone message me, say, hey, I got to this point of the video, just message me. Havoc is the best esports team in the world, and I'll give you a key. But yeah,
Awesome.
but there's a game that I did called Revomon. It's a VR game. Pokemon. It was Pokemon VR for a while. You can still download it, and they have this huge project, and you just go around collecting these Revomon, but they're full NFT Pokemon Revomon characters. And the
Yeah, that's cool.
and the NFT, like the coin that they run off of, is obviously Ethereum, but then they have a baby step down that. It's called Revo, since it's called Revomon. But anyways, so everyone, like you said, message him if you have any other questions. The Discord's in the link in the description. Get ready for all the leagues. Get ready for more updates. You know, obviously you have a lot of passion for this game. But is there anything, last little spiel you want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you very much for what you do for the VR community, and thank you to anybody that watched this far. Thank you for what you guys do. I hope you enjoy what we're building, and I hope to see you at the tournament this summer. And I'm really, really fucking excited because VR is literally, it's barely just begun. So
For sure.
that's my spiel.
For sure. Yeah, and you know, best of luck. And then down the road, you know, I'm gonna definitely have to get you back on here, especially when your game fully goes live, or even
Thank
when
you, brother.
you know you might start making, you know, the next Oculus down the road are definitely gonna be better graphics and stuff. So maybe I'll have you on when you start moving over to the more of the MetaQuest world as well. But for all the people that are continuing watchers, if anyone knows the YouTuber Mateo, he will be on here as long as everything goes well next Monday at the same time as always. So thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for good podcast. Loved it. The passion was there. I think this game's gonna go far for sure.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
See y'all.